All right, what's going on, everybody? It's Jamal English from EDM Lead Network. Today, we're going to be talking about SSDI. These are some new campaigns that have become available that we want to make sure everybody's aware of. We're going to be bringing on some more fulfillment. So, if anybody has any traffic, we want to talk to you. But before we do that, we want to just kind of provide a high level overview as far as what this campaign is, some history about it, what we're looking for, and how we can make this make sense. So, let's get started. So SSDI, what is it? So SSDI stands for Social Security Disability Insurance. Sometimes that's Social Security Disability Income. It kind of just depends on who you ask. But it's a federal program that provides financial assistance to people who have become disabled and unable to work. So let's go through what that means a little bit more and kind of where it started. So President Eisenhower started this benefit, and he wanted to make it available for a lot of the Americans that didn't qualify for Social Security yet, but they had disabilities that didn't allow them to work, and these consumers still needed to be able to provide for their families and take care of themselves. So that's where this benefit was established to help be able to provide them something. Um, Now, let's talk about who qualifies for SSDI. So, first, one of the biggest things, and this is kind of one of the big knockout questions, which is you have to have worked in jobs covered by Social Security. So what that means is, a consumer must have had a job where they have contributed to Social Security in which they actually have built up credits. Now, the way that the credits work is typically most jobs actually accrue about 4 credits per year. So you will always ask them, like as a qualifying question for specifically SSDI is, have you worked 5 out of the last 10 years? Because if they worked 5 out of the last 10 years and they've made over $6,000, which we would hope being in a job, if they made over $6,000, they've accumulated 4 credits. So those 4 credits, essentially 4 times 5 is 20. If they have 20 credits, then that's one of the first requirements that they have. One of the second requirements is you must have a medical condition that's preventing you from being able to work, which it didn't prevent you previously from being able to work. So there's a list of things that qualify as far as a qualifying disability. A lot of them that most of these consumers have are typically mobility. So hurt their back or can't really move, hurt their knee. It's usually some type of mobility factor. Um, and then the other factor is you must have a disability which is expected to last for at least 1 year or result in death at some point in the future. So it's usually, definitely chronic illnesses usually fall into this category. Um, or if like they've had pain for an extended period of time, like 2, 3 years, and it's hindering them from being able to have mobility or being able to function, that's something that typically qualifies. And then the fourth is they're typically under the full retirement age, so they don't qualify for Social Security in the traditional realm. And then most of the campaigns typically have more restricted age requirements where they're kind of hoping very specific beneficiaries. So you'll see some of them helping people 30 to 64, 30 to 65, or 50 to 65. Sometimes there's different age requirements depending on the campaigns. But for our stuff specifically, we'll go through that just a little bit later in the conversation. Now, let's talk about who we are looking for our SSD campaign. So a lot of our stuff is between the ages of 49 and 62. There's about a 13-year age gap that we're really specifically trying to target to. This would be a lot of our final expense consumers. This would be some of our dual eligible Medicare consumers. So typically, what makes somebody qualify for Medicare and Medicaid? So like if someone has Medicaid, 9 times out of 10, they may already have SSDI benefits already. Some of the other things that I would be looking at are people that have chronic conditions. So these would be people that kind of fit into this age realm. And I would say like this is a sweet spot for some of our Medicare and final expense customers where we can easily seg them into our SSDI conversation, excuse me. The other thing is they must not be disabled, and they must be disabled, not must not. They must be disabled, and they're not able to work for the next 12 months. So they can't see like their condition getting better within the next 12 months. That'll disqualify them from this plan. The other thing is they must be under a physician's care and taking medication. So they must be taking some type of pain medication, and they must be seeing some type of pain management specialist or going to see their regular primary care provider on a reoccurring basis where they can get the help that they need. And they must not be receiving disability benefits right now. So if they're receiving any type of disability benefits right now, they're not going to qualify for this program because they already have it. So how can we help them? And then the other thing is they must have been employed and paid taxes for the last 5 out of 10 years. So that goes back to that previous point I was talking about earlier, where like being able to have the qualifying credits. So if they're getting 4 per year, they had to have at least worked 5 out of the last 10 years in order to qualify for this program. And they must not be working with an existing attorney or an advocacy firm. So typically, it's a lot of attorneys that are facilitating these SSDI benefits for these consumers. What a lot of people don't know is that they're the ones that are actually going to the courthouse, presenting all of the documentation that we have for the consumer, relating to, hey, this consumer has been not able to work due to this condition. They've been seeing this provider, taking these medications because of the pain or the condition that they have. They're not receiving any medical benefits or disability benefits right now. They've been working for the last 5 out of the 10 years. They paid into, they earned all of their credits. Can we make sure that we get these benefits, these people some type of benefits, so that way they're not stuck out here with nothing? It's kind of what the conversation that these attorneys and advocacy firms are having with these consumers and these local authorities. Now, let's talk about real quick how to get started. So we're onboarding teams right now. We want to get you guys plugged in. You guys are going to go to edmleadnetwork.com. You're going to go click on that publishers, that sign in, sign up tab. Let's get started. You're going to see our offers. Go ahead and start applying for offers. You guys specifically type in SSDI as a keyword, and you guys will get all this stuff populated for you. And let's start making some money. I appreciate everybody taking the time. If you have any questions, reach out to your account managers. We're more than happy to go into any more detail. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Thank you for your time. Take care, everybody.